Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've returned after a very long absence. I apologize for that. This long of an absence will not happen again. This was a weird one-off kind of situation. This is not a new thing. It was not intentional. But yeah, we have a few things to talk about today. Mainly, it's a Saade's Cantina. I'm just answering questions because, they've built up over the past few weeks. Um, yeah, and then we'll get into, I don't know, we'll see. Just kind of one of those vibes based videos where we just kind of see what's going on in Star Wars. Where are you, bro? Yeah, okay, well, yeah, I've just been extraordinarily busy with school and film and everything. And then I also was planning to take like a couple weeks off of here um just because I had like a lot of other things, and I was going to make a video to in my next video I was going to explain that hey, there's going to be a 2 week hiatus cuz I need to work on these other things. But that ended up not coming out. YouTube uploading is terrible. And I mean, I try to upload a video, and you guys just have no idea how the amount of videos that I've tried to upload on the YouTube app on my phone, and it just won't upload. It just says, "Oh, can't upload. Oh, canceled. I have to redo it 10,000 times." And then the moment I leave my house, it just is super slow and won't upload. It has to be on this exact stable internet to upload. It's like what other stupid software does that? None. Like it's crap. Like really and truly. The easiest way to upload straight from your computer or else the phone one is just terrible. Like I did a whole video on the fate of the Old Republic and all that like on Monday or Tuesday, and it just didn't upload. It just won't upload. So I'm like, you know what? It's starting to get past point of relevancy. I know technically it's not, but I rethought about some of my, because it's fresh off the bat. I rethought about some of my claims, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just cover this in Saade's Cantina because it's a disaster, to be honest with you. The whole YouTube situation. I mean, it's just like their upload system on mobile is just awful. Like it really is awful. It is so terrible. And then they randomly just stop your upload and you have to redo it. It's such a stupid system. YouTube itself is a disaster of um copyright laws and interference from big corporations, which happens continuously. Like Theory recently expressed his views on that, and I think similar things have even happened to me. Where videos where I'm more critical of Disney tank, and videos that where I'm praising Disney more typically do well. Not praising, I don't want to use that word, but being more supportive of certain aspects of Disney, then they do better. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, it's not a coincidence. Like if it's happening to the degree that it's happening to Theory, then it has to be happening to someone like me too, because I'm tiny, but they don't want to let any ounce of criticism into the air, so they're like doing everything they can within legal boundaries to strangle channels who talk about the truth, and it's unfortunate. Um, oh, geez. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty long answer. I saw you uploaded a video saying you like The Last Jedi now. Is that still your true feelings? Um, so that was a combination of a few things. That was I wanted to test the fandom on our side, and I wanted to see how people would react to that, and if people are beginning to turn on the sequels a little bit, and I was like, I can't ask because people feel too scared to, interact in that kind of way because, to be honest, there's a lot of, unfair quick judgment when it comes to if someone likes one aspect about the sequels. Like, the part about me liking Kylo Ren, that's always been apparent. I love Kylo's character. I always have. That's not a new thing. I have his helmet right here. I just bought a Sith Wayfinder. Like, I'm a Kylo fan. I'm a First Order fan. I love the First Order. I think they're great. I have a First Order Stormtrooper helmet right there. You know, like, I don't... There are aspects of the sequels that I do enjoy. It's not the worst thing Disney has done. You know, and that part of what I said too is true. Like, I don't think that that's even close to the worst thing that they've done. I think they've done much more damage through the High Republic, through the Acolyte, through their canon novelizations and canon comics that have absolutely decimated the lore and absolutely just destroyed everything that George made Star Wars to be. You know, I think that in those 2020 era comics just destroyed everything. You know, so if it comes to terms like The Last Jedi would rank higher on a Disney Star Wars ranking scale, you know, for me, because it's just there's so much trash that like it's lifted that movie up, you know. And yes, the part about me like being able to rewatch it and enjoy it by looking at it as if it's not a Star Wars movie because it's fake Star Wars, yes, that is also true. But I wanted to exaggerate because I thought, okay, let's really see what these people think. And it was really cool. It was a really cool experiment because I had a lot of people saying, you're out of your mind, you're turning. Then I had a lot of people say, you know what, that's actually true. And then I had a lot of people saying, well, I'm glad you enjoy it. Like, it was very mixed, but the vast majority that I got was, you're a fake fan, you don't stand for George, how are you part of the Lucas music? Like, that was the main chunk of comments I got. Were, what are you doing? You know, you can't be, you know, say you're a George Lucas Star Wars fan and then support the way that they destroyed Luke Skywalker and this, and that. So that showed me that there is heavy toxicity in the fandom. And it shows that no matter how much I explain myself, if I have a certain viewpoint, that people are going to be ticked off by it, you know? And it's like, and then they're going to call me a fake fan and they're going to call me all this. I told you in that video that I didn't think it was Star Wars. I told you that. I said, if you look at it outside of everything, you know, as a film, it works as a film. I said that 10,000 times. And then people are saying, how are you claiming it works? I'm like, I never said that. Like, they just take words that I say, spin them to how they want, and then apply. And it's like, no. And yes, The Last Jedi is one of the best looking, you know, Star Wars movies, you know, just because as Star Wars in the name. Yes, that's true. The cinematography, the set design, the costume design, all is great. The visual effects, you know, that is true. I think that's very true. But, you know, am I saying it's a continuation of George's 6 films? No, I'm not. Am I saying that The Last Jedi is what the approach that they should have taken? No. And I also said that multiple times, that this should not have been the approach. But with the approach that they took, you know, that in a way, it on the technical scale works. But on the spiritual scale, on the personal scale, no, it doesn't work. Are you fucking kidding me? Who in their right mind would do that to that character? Like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, you look at Legends, you know, and again, Legends, you know, the whole point of canon is that they're doing things different than Legends. That's the whole fucking point. So if you're gonna be a soy boy and be like, well, Legends did this, why aren't they doing it? It's like, it's because it's another fucking timeline, you idiot. Anyways, so, like, in Legends, Luke was this legend. He amounted to this thing, but he still went through problems, you know? Like, he went through even dealing with the dark side. Look at Dark Empire. He faked turning to the dark side for a period of time. Like, you know, and some I've heard people say he does. And I don't think he ever truly does, but there are people who I've talked to who think he really did. But he has gone that direction. But it hasn't been so fucking radical that he throws himself on an island and cuts himself off from the Force, because that is radical. It's a very, very radical decision to make with a character of that much importance. It's a crazy radical decision that shouldn't have been made. But am I going to sit here and say that The Last Jedi isn't a piece of art and that The Last Jedi is 100% garbage? There's nothing good to come out of it? No, because I personally feel that there are multitudes of aspects of that movie that are very strong. Very, very exceptionally strong. So, I mean, like, again, you can call me whatever you want. I am the truest level of George Lucas fan there is. I have an open, creative mind, as George does. I know every piece of everything that is part of those 6 films. That's really all I care about in Star Wars are those 6 films. Other stuff's great, but those 6 films are what makes Star Wars to me. I'm critical of when they do things that go against his vision, but at the same time, George is an artist and he has vision. And he understood after The Force Awakens, after Disney cut him off and got rid of his scripts, they're not going my direction. So I'm going to look at this as a film, and I'm going to look at this as a piece of art instead, because I know that they're not going to listen to me. They're not going to do anything I want. So what happens? The Last Jedi comes out, and he tells Rian Johnson it's beautifully made. And it's true. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. It is beautifully made. That doesn't mean he's saying, I fundamentally agree with how you treated Luke. And it's like, no, people mistake that statement. They mistake so much shit he says for like beautifully made just means like it's well produced. It's well directed. The vast majority of people say that. Because it is. It just objectively is a really gorgeous film. And I'm not here to unfairly bash something that doesn't need to be bashed, like that. It doesn't need to be bashed in that realm. It doesn't. I mean, that's just objective. Did George say, oh, this is the greatest way to move Star Wars forward? No, he fucking didn't. He commented on one project as its own thing. And that's how I view all the sequels as their own thing. They're not connected. They are not a good, well-connected trilogy. I view them all as just like I view them as standalone films, pretty much. Like, they're stylistically so different. Even though the first and last one are the same director, they are wildly different in terms of style. They're different in terms of writing. They're different in terms of the direction their characters are meant to go. Like, they're all just one, like, it's not a good trilogy. Like, Force Awakens is fun, and it's enjoyable, and it's the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters, so I'm going to have a little more nostalgia towards it than most. The Last Jedi is a really well-made movie. They made a stupid fucking decision, but you know what? It's Disney. What do you expect? Then you go to The Rise of Skywalker, and it's just a complete shit show that looks good occasionally, and it's like, all right. And then you have the one tie of the trilogy, which is John Williams, and he does an incredible job, all 3 movies. And it's like, okay, this is a balanced, truly independent perspective, is looking at it and picking it apart and going, this is good, this is not, this is a disaster, this is not. Like, that's a truly balanced perspective. Saying it's 100% garbage, pure shit, I didn't enjoy a second of it, that's not, and not breaking down what you didn't like about it, like, that's not a valid view. Like, you could say it's the worst thing you've ever seen, but just explain it. Don't say, oh, because it's the sequels, because Rey. That's not a good fucking argument. I want to hear why. And that is how you can tell if someone's a fake or not. Is if they just tell you, I don't like the sequels, and can't explain past surface level, like, they just don't know what they're talking about. It's the same thing with the prequels. Why don't you like the prequels? Jar Jar and blah, blah, blah. Why? You cannot like the prequels. I don't care. Just tell me why. And they can't fucking tell you why. Because they're bots. Same thing with the people who like this. You go, oh, I love The Last Jedi. It's the best Star Wars movie. Why? It looks good. But why is it the best Star Wars movie? Because Millennium Falcon and it's like they're the same way. People who are radically one way or the other are just not there. They're so bought out and fucking full of some narrative that they don't even have opinions. They don't even have true thoughts. They're just like in the distance. You know, it's ridiculous. And I learned that. I realized that, you know, that I had to actually justify my arguments. So I went back and I rewatched them. And I was like, okay, these overall are not good. And everything I said back then was true and it's correct. But here are some things that I actually did enjoy. You know, like that is reasonable. But I could have gone in and watched and I said, oh, I hated this and I hated this for this reason. Okay, that's an opinion. Art is subjective. So, you know, it's like explaining opinions to a 5-year-old. That's how it is dealing with this fandom sometimes. It's such a joke. Like these othetic Disney shills who will like threaten to kill you if you like. I was watching Melvin the other day and Jacob and this other fuck were like threatening to kill him for simply commenting #fake fan. Sure, that's definitely inflammatory. But like to go for 40 minutes on this conversation streak, trash talking someone, and then threatening to beat them up. Like what the fuck? Like you're gonna inflict violence over an opinion, over someone who honestly is a bought out fake fan. You know, like maybe look at yourself a little bit. You know, it's like when people call me fake fan for a social experiment video, you know, I already know I'm not because I can justify it. But Jacob, he just likes everything Disney does to go to premieres and everything. He isn't authentic. He isn't a true fan. He's a corporate entity, just like fake news Kyle Katarn and Luke's lightsabers and all these fucks, Carly King, all these fucks, Star Wars Explained, who at this point is, you might as well consider the official Star Wars channel because like they all have unrestricted access to Lucasfilm, unrestricted Lucasfilm support, unrestricted invites to Lucasfilm. They're plants. This is how the film business advertises now. They have these people who claim to be independent content creators, but they're not. They get in with Lucasfilm, they sign a contract saying you're going to advertise for us, and that's their job, and they're paid to do that. Fake news Kyle Katarn, statistically, cannot make enough money for that to be his job. Statistically. It's not possible. With his views, his output, he's not working anywhere else. It's not possible for him to afford his home, to afford his car insurance with the money he's made. Therefore, there is one solution to that. There's one place that goes, which is he is getting paid. Like, that's it. That's it. It's so simple. The whole thing was Star Wars Explained going after Ryan Kennel and Geeks and Gamers and Star Wars 3. That was all probably launched by Disney, but Disney didn't want to do it themselves because it's fucking embarrassing, so they had Star Wars Explained do it. That's what it is. You think that's just them? No. They're backed by Disney. They are backed by a corporate entity, and they have a lack of authenticity. They are not real. They are bought out shills. And that is where the term Disney shills comes from. Anyways, so that's what a real shill is. Someone who is bought out. Now there's also the uneducated who just don't know a thing about George's vision and don't know a thing about Star Wars. That clearly, evidently isn't me either. So it's like, I'm neither of these things y'all are fucking calling me because I made a social experiment video. Now I do apologize for that because that was offsetting in the way that I was so enthusiastic, whatever. But you have to understand in this fandom, that's the only way to fucking, like, get people's true opinions. Because everyone is sold out to someone. Whether it's sold out to fucking theory and can't have their own views outside of Star Wars theory, or sold out to Melvin and they just hate every ounce that comes out of it, or they hate fucking, or they're bought out to Disney, or like, everyone is just so damn biased and they can't just look at Star Wars how George would look at it, which is art. Like, it's unbelievable. People are so, like, they treat Star Wars as a product. They're like, even the people who hate it, they're like, they treat it like it's a fucking factory line. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, this is the antithesis of what George would want. Like, these people are just unbelievable on all sides. Like, some of y'all are just fucking retarded. Like, I hate to say it. Some of y'all in this fandom are just, like, straight up genuine retards. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, you spend 5 years on my channel saying, oh, you know you the best out of anyone, and then over one video where I repeatedly said, and it wasn't even a full psyop either, because I said multiple times, this is not the way it should have gone, this is whatever, and y'all still went after me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, genuinely, what the fuck is wrong with you? Anyways, twinks. Yeah, let's move on. But that's that. So, no, I don't love The Last Jedi. I'm okay with it existing. You know, I wish there was a different way that they went about it. But, you know, I can watch it from time to time for the visuals, for the music, for, you know, certain story beats. But, well, not story beats. That's retarded because there aren't fucking any moments, you know, but that, no. Do I think that it should have been made that way? No. Moving on. Jesus. The fuck is wrong with you guys? Oh, wow. This is ironic. What are your thoughts on Darth Melvin? Darth Melvin is, I feel if he actually made lore videos or made any kind of video going into George Star Wars and actually had like proved his knowledge, proved his position, I think a lot of what he says is actually true. He just says it in a very brash way, but all the people, his channel is focused on exposing paid off fake fans, which that needs to be put out there, really and truly. You know, who are just bought out. And there's nothing this guy hates more than what Disney's done to Star Wars. And he was clearly a massive fan of the EU, as I am, but even more, like, radically obsessed with the EU. And is just angry at what they're doing and how they don't care. It's reasonable. I understand why he's acting this way, because it's frankly bullshit. It's bullshit the way that they've treated this brand, this company, this franchise. They've treated it like shit. They don't care. They just approve everything and then cancel all the things that should be approved. It's like they just don't know what they're doing. Like I've said a million times, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Okay, that's that. But Melvin, when he's exposing Jacob and that other nitwit, let's find who that fuck's name was, for showing that this peaceful side who loves opinions and loves different viewpoints is not what they say they are, that is important content. You know, it's just, he adds a comedic spin to everything because that is his fucking channel, you know? Like, that literally is his channel. It's like half comedy, half, no, I'm being serious, you know? Whether he admits it or not, I can tell, you know? Like, that's fucking... Oh, yeah. Jacob and Colby Star Wars. Like, what the fuck? Colby Star Wars has 772 followers. And he's being invited to premieres and events in red carpet screenings. If that doesn't prove that this idiot is not legit, I don't know what else is. I don't know what else is. Sally, that's the other guy. This fucking idiot. Sally, he's the one who does the violent shit. And he's an absolute twink. If he showed up, I would very legitimately beat his ass and gladly catch a charge. Dude is relentless hateful and needs to change or lose teeth. I hope this tweet doesn't upset anyone. Like, the fuck? You're like, what a fucking weirdo. Like, who does that? Like, that's where I start to like just dehumanize you at that point. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm gonna beat your ass because you have an opinion. Like, what a fucking retard. This is why no one wants to be around these people. Like, oh, God forbid someone doesn't like Disney Star Wars. God forbid someone's calling out these people who are literally corporate plants. Oh, I'm gonna beat his ass. Like, fuck you, twink. Ridiculous. And this fucking idiot also, where is it? They're all mentally ill. They are all insanely mentally ill as well. This idiot posted, I want to leave this world, but I can't imagine the horrible thought of someone finding my body. I wish I could just be gone. Before that argument. And it's like, okay, well, these people are clearly need mental help, so they take it out. They find some fandom that they want to be in so that they can pretend like they have family when they don't, pretend like they have friends when they don't. So they come over, they invade Star Wars. They're like illegal immigrants. They come here, they invade Star Wars, they cause a bunch of trouble, they side with fake fans, they side with shills, they cause trouble, they threaten people, and then they're really suicidal and hate themselves and then leave. So it's like, what the fuck, bro? Like genuinely, get out of here. Like, get out of here. Like, I want the best for you, brother. But coming to this fandom and death threatening and all this shit, what is wrong with you? Like, that's just fucked up on a whole nother scale. And Kobe Star Wars 2 is a mental disaster. Like, what the fuck? Like signed Lucasfilm shit. Like, what? Like, it just showed. Oh my god, these people. And he's, I guess, addicted to Dr. Pepper, this fucking weird guy. Like, really, what the fuck, dude? And then he also did a video on nerd theory and how Josh from the Den of Nerds is an asshole. And he wanted over a 50-50 cut on Super Chats. For no reason, because he's Josh. He's so great. He makes the show. I need more money. I need over half. I need you to take a chunk out of your bit. For what a fucking asshole. I actually like the guy too. He loves Dave Filoni. Oh, Dave Filoni's gonna save Star Wars. Give me a fucking break. Dave Filoni doesn't know shit. Or at least he knows a lot of shit, actually. He probably does. He just ignores it. Pretends like his characters are... He's like creating his own franchise within the franchise. All that guy does is make shit about Ahsoka, Ezra, Sabine, and Zeb. And Hera. That's all he does. And Ventress. Everything that man touches, one of those characters at least are present. Because... And he just won't let Ahsoka die. George wanted Ahsoka dead so early because, like, she's not meant to be this fucking, like, Skywalker level person. Like, she's not. But Dave won't do anything with her. Like, then she was supposed to die in Rebels, which would have been an honorable way for her to go out, fighting Darth Vader, just learn the truth. It brought closure to her arc. What does he do? He invents an entire fucking universe within Star Wars just to save her. The world between worlds only exists because he needed a way to save Ahsoka. Like, you realize how fucking insane that is, right? And I think the world between worlds is a very cool concept. But the way it was invented is retarded. Like, he made an entire universe just to save one of his characters because he thinks his written characters are the best and they're nowhere near it They are nowhere near the best characters in Star Wars. It's like, what are we doing, bro? Like, George has this tapestry of hundreds of characters, and Disney's so terrified to use any of them because they're just awful at what they do that they have to invent new ones that just suck. Like, they've lucked out a few times. Like, Kylo's great, Mando's great, you know. What else? Fuck, I don't know. Like, they've had a couple hits in terms of character. Moff Gideon was great in the first 2 seasons of Mando. You know, they've had a few hits, and, you know, Cal, and they just, sure, but the rest of it's just shit. Kay, Vess, Rey, Finn, who they butchered horribly. Like, if you were given a chance, like, you had all these Black Series figures on the wall, or whatever, vintage collection, whatever, and you had Anakin, Qui-Gon, Yoda, fucking Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi as a package, and then you had fucking Sabine, Osha, Anastasia, Kay, Vess, Rey, and Finn in Captain Phasma. Who are you gonna pick? You're gonna pick the top one. I just know you're gonna, because those are fundamentally good characters versus fundamentally not good characters. Like, Phasma has great armor, whatever, looks cool, but then she's just like nothing. Like, she's just this bot entity with no story. It's like in Legends, but George didn't know Boba was going to be such a hit because he had such little screen time, and he was really there just as another part of the tapestry. And then he saw people liked Boba, thought Boba was cool, so he had all these novels and comics greenlit to explain his story, to give him more attention. You know, and then after Jedi, he brought him back in Clone Wars. No, after Jedi, he brought him back in the books. He brought him back to life. And then he brought him back in Clone Wars as a kid. Episode 2, first as a kid. You know, and he just expanded his character a lot because he saw people loved him. People were hyped about Captain Phasma. I remember, because I was a kid. We didn't even know Phasma was a female yet. Like, we just saw this really cool stormtrooper in this silver armor with this cool cape and fancy blaster, and we're like, dude, this is sick. You know, and then you watch 7 and you're like, all right, we see a little bit of Phasma, and maybe she turned that shield off. What's going to happen to her? And then what do? Nothing. In 8, she's just there. She's just fucking there like nothing happened. And then they made a whole comic run explaining how she got the guy who knew about her deactivating the shields killed and all this bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And it added nothing to her story either. Like, it was just to explain the mistake and error between movies. And then they just kill her in 8. They just kill her. She's just like, bye. And then Finn starts out as this amazing character in 7. Like, he's the stormtrooper who we think has some force sensitivity, who has the Skywalker saber handed to him, and then just gets fucking killed. Which, I mean, if you go up against Kylo Ren, you're gonna get just fucking killed. You know? But it's like, okay, he gets hurt. He survives. Fair, he survives. I understand that. Then instead of going more into this guy wielded a lightsaber and there's more to this character, they make him a comedic joke. They strip back everything we liked about him and just made him another gun-slinging resistance hero. Wow. I haven't seen that 1,000 times. They just made him a not-so-cocky Poe without an X-Wing. Just a lame Poe Dameron. That's all they did with him. Poe was a great character in 8, actually. They really, really nailed it with him in 8. He was a rebel against the rebels. He saw the bullshit that they pull and was like, hell no, stood up to it. And then what happens? They make him this soy boy who goes, You know, in 8, we don't get to see his really reaction to that much because they're in the middle of a crisis. But in 9, they were supposed to explore how he grew, and 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 then all they do is make him this grumpy, meaningless soy boy. And it's like, what the fuck? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not, I view them as singular films because they're just not connected at all. Oh my gosh, where was I? Was this still the Darth Melvin question? Oh my gosh, I've fallen so far from that. Holy crap, I don't even know where it was. But anyways, yeah, my point being is that you have all these characters, these movies, these shows that just aren't good, in a group of people who fucking threaten anyone who doesn't like them. And it's like, no. And this is not the first time. He threatened him because he said hashtag fake fan with no other reply. So, like, that's honestly even more insane. He didn't even have an, like, I don't know. That's just weird. Anyways, these fucking people are horrible, and Melvin's trying to, like, make it clear that they're insane to their face. And he's honestly right. He's like, it's gonna come crumbling down one day, and it's all gonna come out that these people were paid off, and I'm here to laugh at them while it happens. And it's like, you know what? That's true, and that's fair. So I am sort of a Melvin fan. I sort of like what he does. You know, like the Dads Against Predators and how they go, like, expose all the online predators. It's like this, but it's like that kind of, but obviously not predators, except it's paid off, corporate owned, toxic lunatics instead. So, sure, it seems really like, you know, Discord, Twitter user, moderator-y, you know, sometimes just because he wants to make it funny. But when you really look at what he's doing and his mission, he's the only one doing it. Really. I mean, there's other people like JJ Plagiarisms who will, you know, break things down sometimes, or Ryan Kinnell doesn't really talk about the fandom. He really just talks about bullshit Disney and their dealings with, you know, their movies, like live action Snow White. Oh god. Anyways, yeah, that's more what he does. But my point being is, yeah, I am sort of a fan. There are times where I'm like, you gotta chill out, dude. But there are other times where I'm like, that was kind of deserved, bud. You know, like, you gotta, yeah. So that's that. That's Darth Melvin. What else? What do you think about the Old Republic game? I'm hyped. Fuck. That's where we're kind of different there, bud. I am scared for what they do to that era. And to be honest with you, that trailer was boring. It was lame. Nothing happened. So what? A ship fucking flew. It landed. You see the Leviathan or whatever ship from KOTOR. Ooh, great. It's in ruins. Oh god. What does this remind me of? Episode 7 with the Star Destroyer in the ground. Then what? Oh wow. There's this character who looks exactly like Rey. Exactly like Rey, walking by herself with her lightsaber, ready to take on this big beast solo. Oh, this reminds me of a different disaster that occurred. Like they just like why? Like, she looks exactly like Rey. Like, it's scary how much she looks like Rey. It's like giving me PTSD of Rey in episode 9. Oh my gosh, what a terrible. Like, oh god. That's all that I saw. I was like, oh no, this is Rey in episode 9 in the Old Republic. Holy shit. Oh god. Anyways, so you know, I'd be saying the same shit if it were a dude and, you know, he looked exactly like Master Soul. You know, I'd probably tweak. I'd be like, oh God, Master Soul, not that again. Or if it were, I don't know. There's so many shitty characters in Disney Stars. I could go on, but she just looked exactly like fucking Rey, and that scares me. And I know that she's gonna be the main character, and that she's gonna be overpowered, and then it's gonna be another dehumanized, strong female lead. I already know that that's coming. That's coming. So that's guaranteed. But there could be more to that game than just the main character. There could be a really cool open world system. There could be really cool. I don't know. I don't know. I know it's an RPG. So there's a lot of cool aspects that could emerge. It is being developed by the guy who developed KOTOR. So as long as Lucasfilm Games keeps their hands out of his work, he'll do a great job. You know, and he'll push it to a deep. That game isn't going to be bad, I don't think, because he is involved. But I do think that it might. It's either going to be really good or it's going to be like not good. I don't think it could be trash. I don't think that's like if you have him on it, there's no way it's going to be trash, but it's not going to be KOTOR 1, KOTOR 2, Old Republic. It's not. It's not going to be any of those games. And people have to recognize that now before they overhype themselves. You have to realize this is canonical. This is the first canon Old Republic installment that they've been teasing ever since they added the Old Republic era to their timeline on their website. You're like, oh, something's coming. This is it. And I believe that the KOTOR remake is being reworked into canon. And that this is the beginning of that new Old Republic era. And that KOTOR remake will... It's like this is the originals and then the KOTOR remake will be the prequel to this. And then the KOTOR 2 remake will follow, but they'll be different games fundamentally, story-wise. That's what I think is happening here. I don't think that they're really remaking those games in good I don't think they're doing that. Because it's taken so fucking long. I think that they are making it canon. Because Disney can never release anything that isn't canon except Star Wars Visions for some reason. But you know, like they could have released 1313 and kept it a Legends title. They could have like released the Sword of the Jedi series and kept it Legends books. You know, like I don't know why they can't just fucking make stuff not canon, but it's like they just have this obsession with canon that they just can't break from. And it's like no one likes what you've done with canon. Like it's just not good. It's a jumbled mess. You look at the Legends timeline versus the canon timeline. One is thorough, straightforward. The other one is like in 70 directions with 80 contradictions. It's like the Bible versus the Quran, bro. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, it's such a disaster, dude. Anyways, so yeah, that game I'm scared. If Casey Hudson really does have full control, it's gonna be fucking phenomenal. But judging on the fact that this is the first Old Republic installation in canon, I highly doubt that. So that's my view. I'm nervously anticipating it. Yeah. And then the other game they announced, Galactic Racer, that just looks fun. It's going to be a fun game. You're going to have a bunch of customization options with speeders and pod racers and all sorts of vehicles. And you're going to race around on different planets with your friends to become, I forget what they were calling it, but like the master race person. Whoa, no. Fuck. No. God damn it. That's getting clipped. Oh, shit, that's getting clipped. Fuck. That's not my bad. The master racer. You're like, oh, not the master race person. Oh God, why did it come out that way? Master racer. That's what that game that they said that the goal of the campaign is you become like the greatest racer of in the galaxy or something. It's gonna be fun. That's one of those games where it's like there doesn't need to be a heavy story. Sebulba's coming back. Like that game, I'm pretty confident will be fun. It'll either be really great or at the very least just kind of mid, but it's not gonna be bad. I don't think it's gonna be bad unless they like make it have 3 maps or something stupid in one game mode. Then sure it'll probably suck. But I don't think they're gonna do that. I think it's gonna be good. Yeah. And these are just 2 more games. Well, Galactic Racer has a release date at least, thank God. But like Fate of the Old Republic, they're saying isn't gonna come out till like 2029, 2030. The amount of games that they've made some cool cinematic trailer for, got everyone excited for, and then didn't release? Star Wars Eclipse looked like it could be one of the best Star Wars games ever. What did they do? Oh, it's getting delayed. Is it canceled? Now it's just stagnant. It's supposedly being worked on, and they have updates they want to give, but they're not giving them. Stagnant. KOTOR remake, same thing. Stagnant. Just nothing. Like it just joins this roster of games that Disney is saying or the Skydance Star Wars game. Nothing's happening with that, right? Like there's all these games that they're just like announcing and then doing nothing with. Or Zero Company. We haven't had an update on that in ages. And that looked like, okay, it's coming out next year. That looked really good. Zero Company looked really good. I mean, that game it was like it was going to be solid. Jedi 3, it's stagnant. We have no update on that. So it's like, it's just, and they just say it's in development, and they have all these unofficial reports of, oh, this person said whatever from reliable. It's like, what is happening, And there's this Star Wars game curse where they cannot complete a trilogy. Like, Force Unleashed didn't make it past 2. Both Battlefront series didn't make it past 2. Like, they just can't get past 2. So I certainly hope that we can make it past 2 and have a complete trilogy for Jedi 3, or else, I mean, that story was so good in both games, and to leave it at the cliffhanger it was at forever just sounds awful to me. Like, that is just gonna kind of ruin the entire series because the story will never be finished, so they better make that game or I'm gonna be pissed off. I at least just want it to be complete in full circle, please. Yeah, so that's that. Again, yeah, I've heard things about what that story is going to be, and it sounds great. I just hope those things are true. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, but Fate of the Old Republic, I am very, very cautiously anticipating that game. I'm not going to say I'm not kind of excited, but I'm also not going to say I'm shitting my pants, we're so back, blah, 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 because that is a very delicate piece of Star Wars to me, and I want them to really nail it. What else do we have here? Have you seen Marvel. Have you seen the Avengers Doomsday trailers? Yes, I have. Now that is how you get people excited. Bringing back Captain America, Thor praying to Odin about all these things, having 4 different trailers for 4 weeks. Like, come on. That movie's gonna... It's either... And they're, like, resetting the timeline. It starts right after Endgame. Like, oh, this is everything I wanted. You're cutting out all the shit that Marvel's made, the past few years. Supposedly, Kevin Feige's leaving after Secret Wars, and he's just really not been doing a great job lately. So, he is a big major figure in film and for Marvel, and I'm grateful for what he did in the Infinity Saga, but he has fallen off. So Marvel needs new leadership, and I am glad that there is a shift happening, a change that they've been pushing since, I think, around Deadpool and Wolverine. And it's been on sort of an upward trend since then. So, yeah, I am looking forward to Doomsday a lot. I'm very excited for what they do. With that, I mean, the cast is stacked with the amount of heroes that are there. Doctor Doom, like, I'm very curious to see even what he looks like. Like, it's gonna be great. I think they can pull it off. They just cannot pull another fucking Endgame. and make it this I hate the word nostalgia bait, but like fan filmy, like weird fan fiction plot things with like fucking, you know, the whole like, I don't know, that it just was all a big callback and fan fiction, and none of it felt like an authentic piece of film. It felt all like very like conjumbled and weird. And to be clear, the portal scene is one of the most iconic moments in cinematic history. So I can't fully complain, but I don't like it. I really don't think it's good. I think Endgame is bad, to be completely honest with you. Um, Infinity War, on the other hand, that is one of the greatest movies of all time. That is top 15 movies of all time. That movie is so beyond well done. Oh my gosh, dude. That movie is a freaking movie. So that's what they should model. If they're going to do Doomsday, it better be that good. And I've heard rumors that Doomsday's supposed to fix Endgame. This is what I've heard. And that it's going to, like, take the problems but people had with Endgame, and they're going to flip it and give it this whole other meaning, and then it'll make Endgame watchable. That's what I've been saying. That's what Star Wars needs to do with Jedi. Last Jedi, they need to make it like, they need to do that kind of like flip thing. But they're doing it here with Endgame, supposedly. But yeah, I'm really excited for both those movies, but obviously Doomsday more because it's coming out next year. Literally 1 year from now, we'll be jamming into theaters watching that shit. I'm excited. I'm stoked. And Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, one of my favorite characters on Earth. So, I'm always going to be there for him, regardless of what people say about it. Chris Evans, Captain America's back. Like, holy moly. Oh my gosh, dude. It's going to be so good. Yeah. But that's Doomsday. Dude, Mando and Grogu look sick. I don't get why people aren't excited. It's just going to be another fun Star Wars adventure like Solo. I agree, dude. Mando and Grogu is going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm telling you right now, it is going to be a fun movie. I've talked to someone who worked on it, and he's like, there were stormtroopers everywhere. It's going to be really fun. He obviously couldn't give me plot details because that would get his ass in trouble, but he's like, it's going to be fun. I saw a lot of Imperial officers. There's definitely a lot to do with the Empire in the movie, but, he couldn't go past that, which there was already that pretty much confirmed, but he furthered that information. From footage I've seen of it with, like, Mando and the AT-AT in that one camera shot action sequence where he's taking out the snow tree. Like, it's just going to be a really great film. It's going to be a fun Jon Favreau movie. It feels like Iron Man. That's what it feels like. It's like just this crazy badass adventure. Obviously I wouldn't say, does it not feels like Iron Man, but it has a similar like pace to it. I wouldn't say feels, it doesn't feel like Iron Man. It has this similar pace, similar like direction, obviously because it's the same director, but it's going to be fun. Regardless of if it's this super significant plot or not, it's going to be fun. Like, the whole thing with that is, I guess, Grogu encounters some object that amplifies his Force abilities. And that goes back to Splinter of the Mind's Eye and the kind of MacGuffin in that, which was this crystal that Vader and I think Luke and Leia, they were all chasing it. Luke and Leia were chasing it to keep it from Vader, and Vader's chasing it for himself, and it like amplifies everyone's Force ability to an insane degree. So I'm like, maybe they're bringing that kind of thing into canon, and then that's how they're gonna make Grogu progress more into like an actual character rather than a little sidekick puppet. And that's what Grogu needs, because I have not liked Grogu since Mando Season 2. I think since then he's been this obnoxious puppet side character who has been detracting from everything that made Mando cool. I've not been liking Grogu lately. So if this movie, they can actually make Grogu a good character, I'm all for it. And I'm sorry, bro. The scene with Din in the gladiatorial arena fighting that big beast with his blaster and like choking it out, and he's like gets tossed over. That is straight up Legends material, dude. Have you seen the art pieces and stuff from like these older public trailers from back in the day? They're like these transmission story things, and you'd see the old stories about the first Mandalorians and how they fought these giant beasts in arenas and they were the greatest warriors of their kind. Like, it was so that. And also, that arena looks conspicuously like the one in Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which is this really old game where you played as Jango Fett and you fight this big, like, beetle thing. I was like, dude, this is Star Wars. You know, Mando and Grogu is one of those movies that just feels like Star Wars from the fucking trailer. And I am stoked. I am so, so excited. I loved Solo. You know, if you know me, I love Solo. That is probably one of my favorite. I think it's my favorite thing Disney's done. Solo was killer. Solo and Rogue One were, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. When you have those people who hate Rogue One, I'm like, bro, you can have your opinion, of course, but I don't know what you're talking about. You know, like those movies were great. Mando, season 1 and 2, Andor, all these things great. And now Andor isn't Star Wars, really. It's like set in the Star Wars universe, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars at all. But the rest of the things I named, Mando and Rogue One, Solo, those are just great pieces of Star Wars, period. Solo is fucking phenomenal. That whole movie is just, it, you know, yeah, it meant so much to me. You know, when I saw it in theaters at first, I was like, it just felt so different from what Disney had done because it felt authentic, and that like set me off. I was like, huh? And then I went back and I was like, oh, this is great. And George went to that premiere, but he didn't go to the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker. George had input on that movie. John Williams had significant influence on that movie's score and in fact composed the main theme, right? So why were they back for this specific project? Interesting, right? Interesting. You know, George was also really into Rogue One. He liked Rogue One a lot as well. He actually had a story meeting with JJ and Chris Terrio when they were writing The Rise of Skywalker, and he had a whole version of the ending. What did they do? They turned him down. They threw his ideas out the window. What did he do? What did George do? Not go to the premiere. What did George do? Not comment on the movie. You know, it's like, okay, fine. Solo took his advice. You know, Ron Howard, one of his good friends, took his advice. You know, like, I think even Rogue One, I think he did something on there too, but like, when you listen to him and you do different things with Star Wars that haven't been done yet, at the same time, George is gonna like your thing. Because that's what he wants. He doesn't want everything to be the exact same tone. He wants things to be completely different. Look at episode 1 versus episode 5. Completely different movie. But beautiful in their own way. Perfect in their own way. That's how George wants Star Wars. Solo and Rogue One, that is how George would have wanted Star Wars. Well, with Disney owning it. Let me put it that way. With Disney owning Star Wars, that was what George was aiming for. You know, not an absolute decimation of his vision. But yeah, Mando and Grogu looks akin to those two movies. I'm super excited for it. It's going to be great. I'm excited. Yeah, so that's that. Now, Doomsday definitely has more stakes, has more beef to it, because it's going to be a generational, like, the amount of tickets that are going to sell for that in the first hour they're online, it's going to break records. It's going to break records. That movie has so much hype behind it, you have no idea. No idea how ridiculously well that movie is going to do. You have no idea. So, yeah, I think Doomsday definitely has a slight edge over Mando and Grogu in terms of excitement because of its stakes are so fucking high. And there are no stakes to be set up in Star Wars right now because Disney has fucked over every story that did have stakes. So they're keeping it kind of simple for now until we move on from this shithole, but that we are in. Yeah, so that's that. What else? What else do we have? What do you think about making lore videos? I'll make lore videos. I have a few about the Sith in my notes app here that I've written. Like one is what is Korriban, you know, and explaining in detail what Korriban is. Another one is what do the Sith believe? What's their ideology? What's the motivations behind their actions? Another one is what's the psychology of the Sith? Another one was what are the mental effects of the dark side? So those three are like kind of, I'm going to pick one between the three because they're so similar, but like I'm just looking at this Sith mindset in different ways and seeing which one I like. And for now, I think what the Sith believe, that's the one that I really think I've done the best job on. So I'll probably do that one. But yeah, I don't know when that's going to be, but at some point, yeah, I'm planning to do more lore content. Because, why the fuck not? Star Wars channel at the end of the day, ain't it? You know, like, yeah. Okay. Ooh, what's your favorite Legends book? Oh my gosh, that's so hard. Honestly, Revenge of the Sith by Matthew Stover is still low-key unparalleled, but since that's George's story, fine, you know, I'll give you another one. Darth Plagueis, James Luceno. Dark Lord, Rise of Darth Vader by James Luceno. Deceived by Paul S. Kemp is really good. Death Troopers by Joe Schreiber. What would be some? Oh yeah, True Set Bakura is great. The Heir to the Empire, the first one is my favorite. I think that one was really good by Timothy Zahn. NJO is really long, and I haven't read all of NJO yet. Like, that series is so fucking long. I mean, there's so many. It's, like, insane. It's so long. Jedi Academy, fuck, let me get it. I think it's in here. Yeah, Jedi Search. This one's really great. By Kevin J. Anderson. This one's a good book. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It just felt like the next... There's like 3 sequel trilogies in Legends. There's like... I forget in what order it is, but there's like the Heir to the End, the Thrawn trilogy, there's the Jedi Academy trilogy, and then there's like 4. Then there's the New Jedi Order books, and then there's the Fate of the Jedi books, which are when they're like kind of old. So there's like 4 sequel era things, you know, and it's cool. And it shows how they progress and they grow and they change, you know, so. Oh yeah, I think this is after Heir to the Empire. Let me get the Legends timeline. Cool thing is all the Legends books have a timeline in them. That one's super old, so it probably is outdated, but let's see. True Set Bakura. Oh no, the Thrawn the Thrawn trilogy's before, then Jedi Academy, then New Jedi Order, then Legacy of the Force. Oh, Legacy of the Force. There's 5! 5! Legacy of the Force, and then Fate of the Jedi. Yeah. Holy crap. And then there's Crucible. There's just one book at the very end that's like... I liked it, but, you know, that's the last book on the timeline. Really, do you see how I'm just naming so many? Like, this is how Star Wars should be. Like, all of those books, all these books are just great. Everything in Legends is just fucking great. It's great. And it's like, okay, instead of... I've accepted at this point that Disney is not going to listen to George. They're not going to acknowledge his vision. That they're not going to go back to Legends for anything. So, It's much more peaceful that way. When you just accept, it's over. You know, that part, that era of life is gone. It just really is. There will be some cool things here and there, I'm sure, in canon, but it's never going to reach that level. Again, it just, you can't recreate what George, you know, created to the extent that he did. You know, like, you just can't. Oh, how could I forget? Darth Bane. Those books are great. Drew Karpyshyn. Phenomenal. I think Approaching Storm's Alan Dean Foster. It takes place right before episode 2. That one I recommend. Yoda Dark Rendezvous by Sean Stewart is great. Labyrinth of Evil by James Luceno, also really great. It takes place right before Revenge of the Sith. It literally leads into Anakin and Obi-Wan in Coruscant space in 3. Kenobi, John Jackson Miller, phenomenal book. Force Unleashed books I think they're by Sean Stewart too. Those novelizations are great as well. Bounty Hunter Wars, great books. Those are super old, but they're great. Shadows of the Empire, great. Splinter of the Mind's Eye by Alan Dean Foster. Any of the movie novelizations by Alan Dean Foster. David F. Glutt. What's his name? Donald F. Glutt. James Caan. Terry Brooks, R.A. Salvatore, and Matthew Stover. All 6 of the main movie novelizations are great. I believe there's a Clone Wars film one as well. I think. I'm sure that's great. I haven't read that yet. I gotta read that. I haven't read that yet, but, you know, I've read all the other ones of the main saga, so. I love Legends. It's just a well-coordinated thing. It feels cohesive, yet different at the same time. Like, everything has its own vision, but it's tied under George's eye, you know? So, like, nothing is, like, radically different, but radically similar. You know, it's like, it's that nice balance, you know, between, you know, original feeling, original tone, and George feeling tone, you know? So, yeah, everything has its own really identity. There are also the youth novels, which I guess are, they're not part of the main, like, timeline. They're their own thing. They're also pretty good. This book's destroyed, but, the Boba Fett series is really good. I read it when I was a kid. My old middle school library was getting rid of a bunch of their damaged books, and they gave me all their Star Wars ones because they knew how much I loved them. In fact, I actually would read these in the library in middle school all the time when I went through a period of time where, you know, I figured out that certain friends I was around were assholes, and I was like, I'm not going to be around these fucks who are being shitty to people. So I resorted for 6 months just to hang out in the library and read Star Wars books. And I had a great time. It's very peaceful. You go in your own corner, you just read Star Wars books for like however long lunch is, 30 minutes, and then you go to class. Like, fucking great. But yeah, you know, this was one of the ones I read. I really liked it. I'm going to just rave about... You know what? I'm going to rave. This is going to be a long-ass video. I don't care. I haven't uploaded in ages. I'm going to just rave about Star Wars books now. I don't care. Rebel Dream, Aaron Alston. Great book. New Jedi Order. This one's really great. Let's see some more. What else do I got in here? Jedi Apprentice. This is like good shit right here. The Dark Rival. Man, I haven't read this in years. I haven't touched this in years. With Xanatos, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon. Oh my gosh. I gotta go back and reread some of these. Republic Commando, 000, Karen Travis. Dude. Do you see how cheap these used to be? $7.50? Like when book prices were reasonable. Miss those days. Wow. I have more Jedi Apprentice, I believe. Yeah. These are all also from the library, so they're going to be kind of fucked. I'll find more. I'm going to dig through all of these. The Evil Experiment. This one was crazy. It was crazy, man. Holy crap. Like torturing fucking Qui-Gon. What the hell? Defenders of the Dead. Very Indiana Jones. Oh, there's True Set Bakura. This is one of the ones I read at the library as well. How cool. Wow, those days, I kind of miss those days. Like, it was just so chill. Like, you just go in there and fucking read Star Wars books and no one would bother you. I mean, not that people, I have a lot of really wonderful friends, so I'm not complaining, but, you know. Anyways, yeah. Let's see. What else do I got in here that's Legends? I've shown you all the movie novels. Oh, this one's great, too. The Galactic Phrase Book and Travel Guide. So this, like, literally, it was written by Ben Burt, who's the sound designer in all 6 Star Wars movies. Or at least involved in that department in all 6 movies. And they literally teach you the languages of, like, you know, like, they'd have translation guides. It's funny. Oh, there's more Jedi. I have so many Jedi Apprentice books. What the fuck? Captive. This is really good. They lock down... The Jedi Temple has a school lockdown because someone is trying to kill Yoda. Like, this is the good shit. Jedi Apprentice, Captive Temple. Whew. It is so good. I mean, it's just so cool. Like, they lock down the Jedi... Like, they're all trapped in the Jedi Temple trying to figure out who is in here, who is trying to... It's like this... Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, like, this is the shit. People are always like, make whatever, this and this novel movie. Make this shit a movie, bro. Are you kidding? Just a random one-off movie? This would be great. Holy crap. Have I talked about Jango Fett Open seasons yet? Because that shit is generational storytelling. Phenomenal. It's Jango's origin. It shows how he was adopted by Mandalorians. What else do I got back here? Oh, the special edition books. I have the Jedi Apprentice special edition, The Followers. Very cool cover. And this would juxtapose, I think it's Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan with Anakin and Obi-Wan, like, later. So it's like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan before episode 1, and then Anakin and Obi-Wan between episode 1 and 2. So, like, it was this really cool, like, juxtaposition. They'd compare, like, the two, you know, kind of ways that they taught, and then they went after the same guy in both kind of storylines. It's really cool. What else? Oh, yeah, this one's good. It's just, like, it's the Phantom Menace and Maul's perspective. I'm telling you, there's a lot of really great books out there that are pretty unknown just because they're youth novels, but there's a whole series. They have one about Anakin, they have one about Padme, where they just went through episode 1 and each character's perspective. This is my favorite one, obviously. It's very cool. Let me see what other ones. Anakin, Queen Amidala, Darth Maul, and more. So there's probably more than that. But yeah, Jude Watson she made all the old Legends books. She did a really great job. All the old youth Legends books. And this isn't even it. I'm digging through all the Star Wars books I have. I have so many. I'm like trying to find my favorites. I have more down here. I have more Clone Wars shit. Hold on. Yeah, these are good. I should pull all these books out just to show you guys. This is the Clone Wars movie youth novelization by Tracy West. This one was fun. I mean, it's just the movie, but, you know, childhood nostalgia for me. This, if you ever said, what was your childhood like? Right there. That was it. That was everything. That was my life. And then also that, you know, both, that's like, that sums everything up, you know. This is where I am. This is why I'm where I am today. Right here. It's why I survived the tribulations. It's now. Yeah, what's this one? Oh, I remember this. This goes through the, I think it's the yeah, it's Grievous's lair one. That's it. This is where Kit and Nadarveb do their thing, and Nadarveb gets fucking killed. And it goes through, it appears, Downfall of a Droid and Rookies. Yet again, wonderful. They're all good. Everything is good. Everything is good. These are really fun. Now, these are really fun because it was a Decide Your Own Destiny book. So you'd read it, and it would tell you, you'd pick a perspective. So let me show you. Right? So you start out in the book, and it says, there's book, and then it says, if you want to do this, and you'd flip to the page, and so on. And then there would be more, and it was like a game. It was super immersive. It was really fun. Disney actually did their own versions of these. This one you were a clone trooper, and this one you were, I believe, were you a Jedi? I don't remember. But I remember this one very clearly. This one's great. Both of them are, but that one especially. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to show you the canon one. There's one, I think, with Han and Chewie. Yeah. That came out around Solo that I actually liked, and it's the same kind of deal, where it's like the choose your own destiny thing. They have an Anakin and Obi-Wan as well that I haven't read yet, played/read yet. Those are all good. What else? I could do a whole video right now on this, seriously, like. Oh, all these. These are all 20 out of 10. Ugh. There's so much. Like, I'm like having to dig through. Smuggler's Guide, low-key one of my favorite ones. This Disney actually made this one in 2019. It's new. But it's not canon because they include... Is it? I don't know. Maybe it is. But it's part of a non-canon series, and it's not considered... I don't think it's considered canon, but they use some canon material like Canto Bight and... what's it called? Dryden Voss and Maz and all that, but it's so good, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This is super good. This one's a classic. Everyone's probably seen it at this point, but this is just straight up phenomenal. It's a guide on how to be a bounty hunter, and then at the end of the book, they have a guide on being a Mando, in the lore of Mando, and there's like notes from the characters like Boba, and all of them have that. It's all one style. Book of Sith, this is the first one I got. My mom got this for me because she knew I loved Sith, and she's like, this is going to be good. I looked through it at Barnes & Noble. You're going to really like it. And it's one of my favorite books of all time. So, you know what? That kind of worked. But, again, there's like Old Republic Sith. There's Ancient Sith. There's Night Sisters. There's a whole thing about Darth Malgus explaining different battles and campaigns they went on. There's sections written by Palpatine. Phenomenal. Imperial Handbook. This one's great. This feels dry on purpose. It doesn't, I wouldn't say it feels dry. It feels organized and a lot more put together than like the Sith one, which is a bunch of books smushed together or whatever. You know, like this one's very kind of neat and organized and has a similar style. Why? Because that's how the Empire is. And it goes through everything. Like, if you ever want to learn about the factions, just get one of these. There's even a Rebel. The only one I don't have yet is the Rebel Files, which that one I need to get still. And this is the first one, Jedi Path. Like, pretty much everyone is heard of this. Really good book. All the way through. Really good book. This isn't the first one I got, but it's the first one that was released. And it goes, super far into lightsaber forms and all this. I gotta reread these too. These are really good. And it shows you all the people who have annotated in the book at the beginning. Do they do that in all of them? I don't think they do. So I would have known. Oh yeah, Luke Skywalker wrote this one. Let's see here. I think this one was... Oh yeah, Luke also got this text. But yeah, they don't all have the signed things. Disney also tried to do their own version of these. They're called The Secrets Of. I have them. They're over there. They're deep in a pile. I don't want to dig those books out. But they're called The Secrets of the Jedi, The Secrets of the Sith, Secrets of the Jedi's in Luke's perspective, right before Episode 8, and The Secrets of the Sith is in Palpatine's perspective, I think, right before Episode 9. So they're the canon versions. Both of those were actually also, like, they had this really good art in them that was actually, like, really well done. And they're interesting. They're cool. I like both of them. Then they did this random Secrets of the Wookiees bullshit. I don't know why they did that. I'm sure it's good. It's just I don't care enough about Wookiees to get a whole fucking book on them, like what? And then they did the infamous Secrets of the Clone Troopers with that... Oh, God, I can't even talk about it. The transgender clone trooper had a, small feature in it, and then everyone review bombed it, and, you look through the actual book, and nothing... It's not that bad, but except for that one little bit, and then the whole book got just absolutely destroyed and ripped apart over that, which is fair, because that's retarded, but like I said, there's the vast, 95% of that book is good, other than that one part, and it's small. It's not like she has a whole fucking page. Give me a break. He has a whole page, so, yeah. I mean, I could do a video going through all my Star Wars books. I could. That would be really fun. I think I'm going to do that at some point. But anyways, that's all I'm going to do for today. Thank you guys for watching. It's fun catching up. I'll see you guys in the next video. I don't know what that will be, but it will be sooner than 3 fucking weeks. So, maybe. Yeah, because I'm going out of town for winter break the 23rd. So, there will be another kind of week-long break there until I come back. But stay tuned on the Instagram. I'll post some stuff there when I'm gone. But yeah. See you in the next one. May the Force be with you always. Goodbye.